Well, hello everybody. Do you know what? I am so sorry. I have had such a busy week. I forgot to record a Bible story for you. I'm so sorry. Luckily, I had a look on YouTube and I found a story from the Bible that is the story that will be the first reading that we will hear in church this coming Sunday. It's a story about a man called Elijah. We hear that story near the start of the Bible, in the part of the Bible that Christians call the Old Testament. Jesus would have known that story because Jesus knew the stories that were in the Old Testament. You will hear the story of Elijah and you'll be able to see the cartoon version. Hannah's going to put a link to that on Facebook. So maybe you would like to watch that now and then come back to this video. So I'm imagining you have watched the video of Elijah. Do you remember the angel in that story showed, well, he didn't just show, he gave Elijah, he said, look here, there is some bread. There is some bread. And the angel said, eat this bread. Otherwise, the journey will be too much for you. Elijah was so tired and so fed up and so disappointed because Elijah had been doing his best for God. And yet Ahab the king and Jezebel wanted to kill him. Poor Elijah, he'd been doing his best, but he had to run away because he was so frightened. But the angel showed him some bread and said, eat it, or else the journey will be too much for you. And Elijah did eat the bread. He ate it and he went back to sleep again. And then he woke up because the angel tapped him on the shoulder and the angel said, look, there's some more bread. Eat that, or else the journey will be too much for you. And Elijah ate the bread. Bread is a really important thing in our lives, and it's really important in the Bible. It's especially important for Christians because if I show you, now you might not have seen this box before, but I bet you've seen what's in it before, or things like it. Bread is important for Christians because, now can you think when in our services Hannah gets hold of one of those and with it gets hold of one of these. It's at communion, isn't it? At communion, Hannah or I, the priest puts wine in the chalice, that's called the chalice, and puts bread on the plate and then says a very special prayer remembering what Jesus did at the Last Supper. Jesus shared bread and wine with his friends. And this little mini communion set, so smaller than the ones we have in church, are in this box, and I keep that in my house. And when somebody is poorly and can't get to our church, but maybe makes a phone call to me, sometimes they say, can you bring me communion? And I use this little box and I go to our church and I get some of the bread that has had the special prayers said over it in the service, and I put, it isn't in here now because we keep it locked away in the church in a special place, that's where the candle is hanging in the chancel to say it's there. I put some of that bread in a beautiful gold pot in there, and I put the wine in a bottle, and I give the person who wants it communion. And it's a bit like what the angel did to Elijah. The angel said, eat this, or else the journey will be too much for you. Eat this because it will give you strength. That special bread. That special bread. Just like the bread that Elijah ate gave him strength. So people want sometimes someone to bring them communion, bring them the bread and the wine, or they receive the bread and the wine in church because they believe it gives them strength to carry on. That was what was happened with Elijah, because he went on to do God's work, just like he had been doing, but the bread gave him strength. So an idea for an activity, because I haven't really designed one, I thought, have a look in your house, see if you can find some bread, see how many different types of bread you can find. Maybe even see if somebody might help you make some bread. I don't know whether they could or not. You could have a little look on YouTube. If you put in making bread, see if at least you could watch somebody making bread. Because like I said, bread has a special meaning for Christians. That's the end for today. Bye. See you soon. Bye.